Hello everybody, welcome to the Core Content Lecture 1. This one will be discussing proper and effective journaling. So the importance of journaling. It allows you to rewire your brain into thinking like a proper trader. It allows you to spot unconscious mistakes, and it helps develop a repeatable and habitual process giving a more calculated outcome. Your goal as a trader is to follow a systematic approach, and through journaling you hold yourself accountable whilst improving on mistakes along the way. Proper journaling also gives you experience to lean on if a period of drawdown occurs, which will help mitigate fear. How to properly journal. So getting started, you have a weekly forecast, a daily forecast, and something to close out the week with. So getting started with the weekly forecast, what your weekly forecast should compose of. So you want your weekly forecast to compose of high probability and low probability days of the week, the days you will trade, framing where the weekly candle is likely to draw to, and where you expect the high or low of the week to form. And you can write this down on Sunday. Anytime on Sunday before the week really begins, that's the best time to write all of this down. And now, how you will plan it out is the economic calendar. So you will use the economic calendar to kind of guide you throughout the week and knowing where high probability and low probability conditions will form. So an example of this would be Monday. As you can see, we have no news, so we would consider that low probability. Tuesday, we have 8:30 news, so we could consider that a tradable day. Wednesday, we have CPI, so we would not expect to really do anything that day. Thursday, we have news, so we would consider that tradable. And then Friday, no news, so we would consider that low probability. And then once you have all of that outlined, you can write, I expect the weekly candle to draw towards, and then write wherever you think it's likely to go. And then I expect Tuesday or Wednesday to form the high or low of the week, using the information from what we can see on the screen from the economic calendar. All right, so now that we've gotten the weekly forecast out of the way, we can go into the daily forecast. What your daily forecast should compose of, where you expect the daily candle to draw towards, and also you want to outline old highs, lows, and gaps that may serve importance. So you would generally write that down the night before. If your time zone permits it from being the night before, because I know a lot of people over here in America, Asia session is nighttime for us, and we generally sleep through London and then wake up for the morning session. But if your time zone permits it, then you could just write this down in Asia session before the day really takes off. So you could put, I believe the market will draw towards, and then put whatever you think, and then key levels I have in mind to support my idea, and then you could put whatever might be there at the time. And then once you have that out of the way, you have your session before. So what you want to write down your session before is characteristics of what happened the session before and how you'll use that information to help reinforce your idea or scratch the idea altogether. So an example of this would be London session did something, and then I would like to see next in New York to support my idea. So if you trade the New York session, before the New York session begins, then you would write down anything that happened in London session and use that information to support your idea for attacking the New York session. And then we have after the fact. So journal what you anticipated to see versus the result and the outcome of a trade if you placed one. So you could write down I anticipated and the market did something. Now we have the daily forecast out of the way. We can look at closing out the week. So whenever you're closing out the week, once a week has officially closed, give yourself a performance evaluation. Write down mistakes you made and how you can correct them for next time, and write down things you did good at and give yourself credit for observing or anticipating a positive outcome. So with this, you're looking at the good and the bad, and if you do this week after week after week, day after day, then you will slowly but surely get a lot of data gathered that will help you a lot and help you advance very, very quickly. This is the same thing that I used, the same kind of template that I use every single week and I've journaled probably over 1,500 pages, and this will help you get on track and reach a very, very, very high degree of accuracy. So hopefully you found this one insightful. I will speak with you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.